The federal government has delayed finalizing grizzly bear regulations until the end of this year. Now, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service was supposed to finalize those regulations on January 31st, as mandated by a federal district court in Idaho. So, what does this delay mean for us right here in the Treasure State?
I'm sure they have their reasons, but that doesn't make it any less frustrating for us.
I think that's probably because they're starting to realize the complexities of promoting the idea of delisting.
With over 200,000 public comments, staff turnover, and controversial nature of the species management, the Fish and Wildlife Service requested an extension. Trina Jo Bradley is a rancher in Valier and says that while they await the decision from the government, she wishes a temporary state plan could be in place.
There would be a way for, if I went out to check my cows and there was a grizzly bear in them trying to kill them, I could legally shoot it and call U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and say, hey, I killed this bear that was killing my cows, come get it. Which would be really, really helpful. And it would also improve the attitudes of a lot of producers that are just sitting out here not being able to do anything.
On the flip side, Chris Servine is a bear conservationist and says there wouldn't be much change from now to the decision.
The fact is that they're managed the same way now that they would be managed after they're delisted.
Currently, Montana FWP manages bears, but since they're still federally protected, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service must approve all relocations and removals of conflict bears. Ranchers like Bradley say the presence of grizzlies not only causes overall stress to producers and livestock, but more.
Lower breeding rates, stress, weight loss, all the things, meaner cows, all the stress on top of stress on top of stress for livestock and people. And delisting grizzly bears isn't going to make them go away, and we're aware of that. But delisting grizzly bears would give us a whole nother set of tools that we could use.
Servine felt similarly about grizzlies, but as the environment has changed, so has his perspective on the species. He wrote the original delisting rule for the Yellowstone ecosystem, and now
Something has happened in recent years that has concerned me, and that is the intervention of politicians in the management of predators in general.
the last proposal from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, released in the final days of the Biden administration, would have kept grizzlies on the list, with some tweaks that gave landowners more flexibility around killing bears that threaten livestock.
It'll be interesting to see how the new administration writes a completely new document with a 180-degree conclusion, because the biology and the threats to grizzly bears haven't changed in 1 year.
Moving forward, both sides have concerns and are curious to see what happens come December. Both Servine and Bradley believe there are important voices to be heard outside of politicians.
Agriculture needs a voice and make people realize that Montana is ready to manage their own grizzly bears.
And the bears are just trying to make a living out there on the landscape. They really would like to stay away from us, and they would really like to be here in the long term.
Madeline Heath, MTN News.